Edwin Starr once sang, "War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing," so said the song. Well, for the most part, he was correct, but in the case of investing, there are opportunities as wars erupt. And today we're going to talk about the best stocks to own in times of war. We're going to look at 4 different sectors. We're going to then look at the best stocks within each one of those sectors. And then at the end of the show, I've got 7 picks that I think are the best charts of the group. My name is Keith Richards. I'm President and Chief Portfolio Manager of Value Twin Wealth Management. And this is the Smart Money, Dumb Money show and your smart money. So let's get at it. So just to start off, I want to mention that this video topic was inspired by one of your comments. So again, I do read your comments. Sometimes it takes me a few days to get to reading them because I'm busy doing, well, portfolio management, but I do read them and I ask for ideas. So don't forget at the end of this video to post your comments and post what you'd like to see me talking about. And if I think it's a topic that I could convert into a widely accepted and widely interested audience, I will do it. So today we're going to look at these 4 sectors. They're not really sectors, they're more areas, let's call them. So we're going to look at defense stocks. We're going to look at drones as a subsector. And that was actually this particular viewer's question was, what do I think of drone stocks? So it's kind of a subsector of the defense stocks. And then we're going to look at metals that are involved in the use of military equipment and rare earth, which is the big thing these days with all the technology out there used in war. So let's get at it. So we'll start off with the broad picture of the defense sector, and I'll look at the iShares Defense ETF. It's ITA on the US market, and you can see that it's consolidating. It's actually in what we call a right-angled triangle, and that is actually a good thing. If it breaks out to the upside, that can be very positive. At this moment, though, it is kind of moving sideways to down in the peaks, so one does not buy into a consolidation. One likes to buy on the breakout of a consolidation. Now, if we look at the top 12 stocks in that ETF, you can see names that you'll recognize like GE and RTX and Boeing Company, etc. There's some really big ones, and again, this is one of those cap-weighted ETFs. In other words, it's got high capitalization in the biggest companies. Now, if you do your math here, you're really into, what, about 45% or something like that in just 3 names. So just be aware of that the look of the index chart is driven by just a few names. So I like going through all the names in a sector whenever you have this kind of situation, whenever you have a high amount of the influence of just 2, 3, 4 stocks within an index or an ETF. Whatever the case, I'm going to look at all 12 of the top picks in ITA, and what you'll generally find, these are all 1-year charts, and what you'll generally find is, lo and behold, they are in fact consolidating. So the group does seem to be consolidating. This Raytheon looks like it's kind of downtrending, but Boeing sideways, GE sideways. Now Rocket Lab looks like it's broken out. So this one is a little parabolic right now, but it's encouraging to see a breakout. I would love to see it pull back a bit, and I'd probably be a very interested candidate. Harris Technologies does seem to be rounding over as well, though it is adhering so far to a trend line. I'd be a little cautious on that. Lockheed Martin, same thing. It looks like it's kind of pulling back. Might be able to touch the trend line, but that's been quite a dumping for both of those stocks. So generally speaking, so far with what we're looking at, none of these stocks are very encouraging. So if we look at the next 6 stocks in the defense ETF, you can see that I'll kind of steer you towards all but the one I might like here, and that is General Dynamics kind of consolidating, Axon downtrend, Northrop kind of struggling, FTIA in an uptrend, but very much consolidating. Transdigm Group looks to be breaking down, as you can see here. So again, consolidating after a breakdown, not a very attractive chart. The one chart that does look pretty good here is Howmet, and that's why I left it to last. It's in a nice uptrend. It looks like it's breaking out of its consolidation. So that's probably one worth looking at. I want you to keep in mind, though, that the sector in general is under pressure, and that can pressure individual stocks, including Howmet eventually. Now, as I mentioned, the viewer that asked me the question was asking me specifically about drones because they are being used, for example, in the Middle East situation right now. Well, there's not a lot of, pure drone companies, but there are companies that do focus on drones. And these companies are represented in an index, DRNZ. And really, the index has only been around since November, and they are consolidating just like the defense sector. So I'd say that they don't look any worse or better than the overall defense stocks that have been around for ages. And I would want to see a breakout to the upside before I became interested in the drones ETF specifically. So when we look at the DRNZ holdings, we can see that most of them are not listed on the North American stock exchanges. There's 3 of them I'm going to focus on that are listed here in North America, and we can take a look at those charts. Okay, so these 3 charts, Ondas, Aereo Environment, and Red Cat. I have never heard of any of those 3 stocks before, so I'm just happy that I was able to pronounce Aereo Environment. So Ondas, consolidating, again, typical for the sector. We have Aereo Environment, see, I'm saying it, looks like it's broken down. I don't like that chart at all. And Red Cat is kind of still looking like a consolidating chart. So none of these stocks interest me. So hope that answers anybody's question that are interested in the drone side of the stock world. I don't think they're a great pick right now. So now let's take a look at the next part of military orientated stocks or military benefiting stocks, and that is rare earth. Now, Craig and I have been into rare earth for a while now because of their applications in AI and robotics and that kind of thing, but obviously it's also applicable to military. So you can see here, this is the REMX, which is a ETF that we own, and this chart shows that it's just now coming into resistance. If it can break out, that would probably push it to, further and further highs, but there's going to be a certain amount of, individuals who have purchased at this current level who, may be wanting to take profits around this point. So just keep that in mind when we look at rare earth. However, we want to look at the individual charts, so let's do that. Just a quick description of why we want to look at rare earth. It's because these elements are used in radar and sonar, precision guiding munitions, magnets, night vision optics. So there's sensors and control mechanisms that rare earth is used in. And this is all, by the way, given to me by SFA Oxford. And look, I spelled commodities wrong. And electromagnetic systems, weaponry, military grade equipment. So rare earth is actually extremely important. And by the way, the US is very aware of this, which is why Trump has been meeting with China recently. So this is just a quick picture of all the different elements that are considered rare earth. We're just going to focus on some of the top names used in military. Okay, so just like the drones segment, a lot of the companies that make drones are offshore listed stocks. Same thing with rare earth. So we've got a few. Albemarle, which Craig and I have owned in the past. MP Materials, which is actually a pretty diversified company. Sociedad, which it's in Chile, and it's probably my favorite name of any stock. What kind of name is that? And Almonte. So these are the 4 we're going to look at right now because they are listed on North American exchanges and we can trade them very easily. So let's take a look at the charts, and you can see Albemarle in a nice uptrend. We have traded this before. We like this stock. MP, it's consolidating. Nothing wrong with that. And Sociedad, I think it's called, the Chilean stock. Nice uptrend, very nice uptrend. You guys might remember on my last video on international ETFs, I liked Chile. So this is one of the companies in the Chilean stock market you can look at. And finally, ALM, Almonte, Again, nice uptrend, kind of a consolidation going on right now, but very good looking chart. So overall, when we compare some of the defense stocks now to the elements that are used in defense defense mechanisms, I should say, weaponry and whatnot, you can see rare earth is a better place to be overall when we look at the charts. Final thing we'll be looking at when it comes to benefiting stocks from military use is base metals. This is the XME chart. It's the ETF in the US that represents the base metals. Again, consolidation within an uptrend, not a bad thing. Wait for the breakout. Let's go through the main metals that are used in military applications. So when we buy XME, for example, we would get some of the metals that are not necessarily used extensively anyways within military. So the main ones are aluminum, because it's very lightweight, titanium, again, high strength and weight, nickel-based super alloys. Why? Because they are temperature resistant. Steel alloys, which good old steel used in so many things, strength and durability, and military use of magnesium. It's, again, very lightweight. I actually had a race car a while back that had magnesium parts on it. So if we look at the XME holdings, there's quite a few of them. And as I mentioned, some of them actually are right in the rare earth area, but it's such a diversified ETF. It's a great way of playing metals overall, which I am in favor of. But if we want to focus on those elements that are specifically used in military, we're going to have to concentrate this list a little bit. So that's what I've done, and I've taken the elements we just talked about, aluminum, titanium, nickel, steel, and magnesium, and I picked some stocks that aren't necessarily even on the list for the XME holdings. But these are names that I'm familiar with, and in fact, I have traded in the past. For example, Alcoa, ATI, BHP Group, Steel Dynamics, and Compass Minerals. So let's look at those charts individually. I should disclose right off the bat that I do have a position in Compass Minerals in value trend, and just starting with that, you can see why we bought it fairly recently. It broke out. We like breakouts. It was kind of consolidating, broke out. Now, Steel Dynamics been in a nice uptrend, possibly a little overbought right now, but you don't argue with that too much. Alcoa is still in its consolidation, so I would treat it sort of like Compass, like value trend did, which is wait for the breakout. It hasn't broken out, but if it does, it could be interesting, I should say. ATI is in a consolidation as well, whereas BHP is breaking out. So the two I'm interested in currently, we don't own BHP, but BHP because it's broken out, and Compass because it's recently broken out as well. But keep an eye on all of these charts because they're all looking pretty good. Steel Dynamics may pull back to a trend line, and that could be a very good entry point as well. So now we're going to get to my 7 top picks, and sometimes I do 3 top picks or 5 just to make it a number that's often used, but I actually found 7 of these charts that I found appealing, so I'm going to go over them right now. So first 2 in our top picks, Howmet, beautiful uptrend. Take a look at that. Anytime it pulls back to that trend line is a time to take a look at that stock. Albemarle, we traded this a while ago at value trend. You can see it was in a downtrend. It formed a bit of a consolidation. It broke out and we bought it. We recently sold it here because it was coming into resistance, but it could get a lot higher given what's going on in the world today. We just decided to take our profits and run. I think it could actually get this high now that things have changed in the world since Craig and I sold it. So we're just suggesting that it's probably still worth looking at. And even at value trend, we don't mind re-entering stocks. This is one we would definitely consider. So if we go to the base metal stocks, I have a Fab 5 list, and one is Alcoa. Alcoa is in a nice consolidation, quite like that consolidation. ATI, nice uptrend, consolidating as well. But I think that, consolidations within uptrends always interest me. BHP broke out. As I said, Compass we own, it broke out. And Steel Dynamics, it's in an uptrend, may pull back. So those 5 stocks should be on anybody's radar. Okay, so I hope this video gave you guys some ideas on how to invest in times of war. And I want to point out that I did write a blog recently on May 15th covering how oil will react during the next number of months. And this all ties into the current war, as well as I have some ideas on profiting through metals, etc., coming up on the blogs. So I do encourage viewers to subscribe to the blog at valuetrend.ca. It's free. We don't pester you or anything like that. And you'll get more details, more analytics, more charts than I can possibly present on these videos. It's a little more sophisticated, but for those of you who like to do a more of a deep dive on the stock market and on my ideas, that's the place to go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching the Smart Money, Dumb Money show, and just a few things I wanted to bring to your attention before you leave. Number one, some people ask me how they can find out about Value Trend Wealth Management portfolio management services. Well, that's easy. Just go to our website at valuetrend.ca and hit the contact button. If you click that, there's several ways you can get a hold of us, and we can discuss your personal portfolio with you. Next, if you want to learn more about investing like a pro, I have several resources, including 2 books in publication. I originally had 3, took 1 off the market. The most important one I think you need to read is Sideways. You can get it on Amazon and Indigo, and that goes for the other book as well. It's a bestseller. I've literally sold thousands of copies over the years. It made Financial Bestseller of the Year when it came out. And it covers the basics of technical analysis. I strongly encourage those of you who want an easy way to introduce yourself to all the most important principles, check out that book. It's called Sideways. The next book you should check out is my Smart Money, Dumb Money book, which of course I named this show after. It's based on a specialty within my long career in technical analysis in Canada, and that is a book on behavioral finance, specifically using sentiment indicators, contrarian indicators, to help you spot extremes in crowd behavior and help you earn profits. Another thing you should check out is on our website, again at valuetrend.ca, I do a weekly blog, and I have been doing this blog since 2008. So it's been almost 20 years of doing the blog. I write 1 to 2 pieces a week, and it covers all kinds of subjects in much greater detail than I can cover on these videos. Finally, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole of how to invest for your own portfolio, consider taking my online trading course. This course was designed from almost 40 years in the investment industry and investing on my own as a professional trader, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. We cover everything from how to buy and sell, how to find candidates to buy and sell, how to manage your portfolio properly, how to manage stop losses, and all kinds of other factors that can influence your portfolio. I strongly recommend it. It's priced cheap, and it's condensed information that is specifically designed for retail investors, and that's you. Now, one other thing that you guys might be interested in knowing, if you've taken my online trading course, and I'm sure many of you have, then you can look forward to an advanced online trading course that should be out near the end of 2026. In that course, I'm taking everything I talked about in the online course, and I'm going a step further through advanced techniques in technical analysis, trading techniques, professional portfolio management techniques, that kind of thing. It's going to be a dilly. It's going to take me some time to work on, which is why it's not going to be available until the end of the year, but you can look forward to that. So, in addition to the videos, we've got lots of tools to help you meet your financial goals, and I strongly suggest you consider taking advantage of at least a couple of them. Again, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.